Hi, it's Mark with At My Home, and today we're going to review the Orbit B-hyve XR. This is a smart indoor-outdoor sprinkler timer, and Orbit nicely sent us this to go give a review. So here we are doing the review, and this is a really neat sprinkler timer because it's Bluetooth. It supports 16 stations, so if you have 16 zones in your garden, you're in great shape. It works indoors or outdoors, so you can mount it either place. I think that's kind of nice. And it does dual band connectivity, so you're not just at 2.4 gigahertz, but you can do 5 gigahertz. And you can set up all these sorts of automatic scheduling and so forth. And before I unbox it, I want to show you something else. It works with Flume. Now, if you saw our video on the Flume attaches to your water meter and tells you if your water is running. And we happen to have 2 water meters in our yard, one for our house and one for irrigation system. We put this Flume on our irrigation meter and it tells us when the water is running. The nice thing about the B-hyve XR is it talks to the Flume. Let's take a look at what's in the box. We'll put the system in, we'll give it a test and see how it works and hook it up with this. All right, let's see what's in the box. It's pretty heavy. So that's it, the B-hyve XR. Oh, here we go. So this is it, the B-hyve XR. And it's pretty simple, right? Just a plastic box and a nice long cable to plug it in. And it has a magnetic door. And under the door is you have push buttons to hook up your current zone wires. So all you have to do is label your zone wires, press the button and slide the wire in and you're set, you're hooked up. The other thing it has is if you look in the front, it has these little windows here. It actually has a front panel interface. And in the door, it tells you what you can do on the front panel interface. At least I think that's what it does. So we're going to take a look when we do the installation and we start using this to determine how many things I can do from the front panel. And I can tell you, our current system doesn't have this front panel. It only works with a phone. This one, of course, works with a phone. But having the front panel sometimes is handy, especially if you have a gardener that wants to come in and turn on a zone. So we're going to see how valuable that is. But that's it. That's the B-hyve XR. And we're going to go off and install it now and see how it operates. Oh, one more thing. It does come with screws and a white wire. I don't know what the white wire is for. We're going to find out. And it comes with directions, of course. So the directions don't look too bad. That's it. Nothing else in the box. It's empty. And so now I'm going to go off and install it, see how it works. Okay, so we installed our B-hyve XR in a box that was existing from our old unit. So we took out the old unit. We labeled all of the zone wires so we knew which was which makes it easier to install. And the way we mounted the unit to this box was we just used Velcro strips. So this is Velcroed in the box. And then the wire, electrical wire, connects up to an outlet that's already in the box, and it's a ground fault outlet, which is important for outdoor use. And so we're easily able to connect it up, all powered up. Then all we had to do was take each of the labeled wires, line them up with the proper spot and here in the wiring panel, press the button, and put the wire up inside there. No screwdrivers needed at all. Once we're done doing that, we snap on the cover. That's it, it's complete. Physically, we've now connected up our sprinkler system. Now, the next step is to go through and install the app and then set up all the zones so we can water our lawn automatically. Now, let's install and set up the B-hyve XR in the app. Install the B-hyve app from the App Store. Once it's installed, click on the My B-hyve tab on the bottom of the screen. Click Devices and then the plus sign to add the XR. Then just follow the prompts to add the B-hyve XR. They even have a picture of the unit to make selection easy. You'll be asked for your address, which is important so they can select the nearest weather station. You can also select a personal weather station that might be nearby. The weather station helps the XR determine your watering schedule and to determine if it should run if, for example, it is raining. You may get asked to update the firmware. You name your timer to complete the initial setup. At this point, you can continue to setting up the zones. Just select which zones you installed. We installed 8. And then the XR will test all the zones. You name each zone, and if you like, you can take a photo of it. We opted to take the photos later. We ran into an issue with the testing where the Bluetooth didn't reach all the zones. This was because we hadn't set up the Wi-Fi and our phone was out of the XR's Bluetooth range. So instead of moving on to setting up the smart watering, we paired up the Wi-Fi. Once that was done, time to set up the watering. One thing you can do with the B-hyve is set water restrictions. This is handy if you have defined watering days in your area. We have several parameters like even or odd days or the days of the week. While you can set up specific watering programs, we decided to use smart watering. It is simple to set up. Simply click on the Smart Water On button in the Programs tab. Select which zones you want to water and then set the time to start. Enter the Zones tab and select each zone to set up its parameters. You will see Smart Details. Click that and you walk through the setup of the zone. You set each parameter like slope, soil type, plant type, and so on. You can even make watering adjustments here. Once you set up all the zones, the XR will figure your smart watering schedule. Smart watering is now set up. Unless you want to make watering adjustments, you're done. Oh, and if you use Alexa, Google Home, or have the Flume water device, you log in here. We have Alexa and the Flume. Okay, everything has been installed, and now let's take a look at the information it provides. So one thing we can do is we can go to Calendar, and if you look at the calendar, it shows you about 2 weeks out as to what your scheduling is going to be. And if you look at it, you'll see a little, like, actually looks like a light bulb, but basically that's your watering. So it's saying that, hey, I'm going to water on this day. So this is the October 19th, so that's next Monday. And I can see the schedule, what's going to run. And if I want, I can actually pinch the zoom, and it gives me more details. And you notice it's doing it twice. That's because it does a soak cycle. So it runs through one cycle, then runs through a second cycle, and it tells you how long it'll run. If I click on it, it shows me for every zone, it shows me how long that zone is going to run and at what time. So that's kind of nice to know. Like I have it starting at 12:05 in the morning, and then it does its 2 cycles. And on the right-hand side, it talks about moisture levels. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't look at this much, but if you're like technically inclined and you want to know, they calculate out how much moisture is in the ground, and that helps them determine in smart watering how much watering needs to be done in a particular day. So when you look at that calendar again, and let's look at the whole month of October, you can see what the plan is out about 2 weeks. So with smart watering, they figure they can figure it out about 2 weeks, and then it changes. Now, I can also go back, let's say, to the 15th, and I can zoom in on that, and I can see what was the watering. It tells me what the temperature ranges were, whether it was sunny or not, and for each of the zones, it shows me what the watering was. It said here that zone 1, which is front of the house, that it ran for 8 minutes twice in the morning. Now, that's great to know that, but I want to know more. So I can come over to my B-hyve, and I can select watering history, and now what happens is it shows me for each zone when the last watering happened. And if I press front of house, it now shows me by day what the watering was. If we look at this, it says it ran on the 15th for 8 minutes twice, but also in parentheses, because of our friend Flume, which is attached to our water meter, it told me, or it told B-hyve, exactly how many gallons was used. So let's see, it says on October 15th, for 8 minutes, it ran for 76.8 gallons. And at 8 minutes at 12:05 a.m., it ran for 78.3 gallons. And that's the really nice thing about these two talking with each other, is you can tell exactly how many gallons you're using. And then if you go to the Flume app, you can see how much was used for the total day, because it does the math for you. And then you can adjust your limits of how much water you want to have go on your lawn. Between the two devices, you should be able to figure that out. So that's really a nice feature of the B-hyve XR. Okay, the B-hyve will also work with Alexa or Google Home, and I'm going to use Alexa on my phone. Alexa, ask B-hyve to water zone 1 for 1 minute.
Your timer is now watering station 1 for 1 minute.
If I go over to the app, it'll actually show me that it's watering. And if I want, I can actually ask Alexa to stop the watering. Alexa, ask B-hyve to stop watering.
Your sprinkler timer has stopped watering.
There you go, using Alexa. Okay, one of the nice things about having an automated sprinkler system is the fact that you don't have to go running back and forth to the front of the house or wherever your sprinkler system is to turn on a zone to test to see if the zone is working. So let's say you have a problem like this. Oh, we have a sprinkler head that's kind of lost its top. Now the nice thing is I can come in here and say, stop. And now it's done. And I can go find out what's wrong. And the top popped off, so I can fix that. And now I can say, test again. You can see that the sprinkler is fixed. You can actually run your sprinklers from the unit itself. So if you have a landscaper that wants to go off and test something out, they can do it right from here. And it's pretty easy. You can take this cover off and you can actually find the instructions on how to do that here because it's a one-button system. So let me put this back on and let's water zone 3. So here we go. Press. It says water all zones. We press it again. Water a program. Press it again. It says water a zone. You wait a few seconds. It'll switch to the zones and you just press the button until you get to the zone you want. Let it wait a second. And then you can set your time. So let's say 5 minutes. Let it sit. And now it starts watering. And if I like, I can stop. Now it tells me it's zone 3 is watering for 5 minutes, and then I can press it again, and I just stop the zone from watering. It's that easy. Okay, so you've seen how to set up the B-hyve XR and how it runs. And I think what's really nice about this is that once you set this up for smart watering, you're done. You just let it run week after week after week. And if you have any questions, if your lawn's getting brown and you want to pump up the water, you can go back in and make adjustments. It's really easy to use. The other thing is if you happen to pick up the Flume, which we do recommend, then you'll know exactly how many gallons you use. So they've done a nice job of doing this integration and giving you the information you need to have a better lawn. Now, there is a few things that we'd like to see that would be improved. For example, you can't share the app with anybody. So it's your app, it's you, and that's it. So if you want to share the app with your gardener, we haven't figured out how to do that with the B-hyve app. We would like to see that added in the future. The other thing is that the integration with Flume is pretty good. You see how many gallons get used per zone, but we'd like to see more integration. We'd like to actually have it tell you if the XR says the zone is stopped and the Flume is saying the water's still running, it'd be nice to have an alert come out and say, you know, your zone stopped, but your water didn't. So that way you'd know if you had a runaway valve. So now, before you buy, check with your water company or your county to see if they have rebates available for getting a smart water controller. Thank you for watching our video today. We'll include links in the description below on where to buy. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and ring the bell so you'll know when the next video is available. Plus, for more smart home stories, visit appmyhome.com. Thank you.